Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Woo. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this platform of Project 365. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated. And we have the great pleasure of rendering hope, encouragement, and inspiration to the whole wide world for 365 days, consecutive days. That makes a difference right there. But let's bring in my co-host on today.
Hello, everyone. My name is Takira Swan, for those who do not know, and I am so happy to be here. We have a treat for you today.
We definitely do. We definitely do. A great message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration to our men. Today, we're focusing on manhood and all that it entails. And we're really happy to have Mr. Lewis Thomas with us on today. I'm so glad. It's good when you can have the personality, the character, the reputation of what you're looking for. And I know the topic of just manhood came to mind to share and to encourage and to empower our men. And Lewis came to mind. So I'm grateful for a man of God stepping up and said, yes, I'll do that. And didn't have to go and study for the topic. He was ready. He was ready because it's a part of him. And I'm grateful for that. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We look for everyone that comes to this particular platform to subscribe, only because you help us to take the message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration around the world. So at this time, Lewis, I am going to move out of the way and give you the platform. Go for it.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. I'm excited about this. When I got the call, I was ready. And like you said, it was, I don't know, it just a few days ago. And yeah. I ain't got to study for this. This is life. Right. So I'd like to introduce myself again. My name is Lewis Thomas, for those who don't know, and I am a man. So I am actually the president of an amazing organization called PowerFest Baltimore, and we plug people into helping Baltimore be a better place. I like to consider myself as an asset to the city now, but that's not how I was my entire life. I think in order for me to explain to anyone listening about manhood, I need to talk about a little bit of my past and where I came from and how I got to where I am today. I grew up in an amazing household with two great and amazing parents. They were educators, God-fearing people, two older sisters. Most people would say I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. We didn't struggle. My parents did very well. So I have no gloom and doom story to talk about me growing up. Everything was amazing. Went to church every Sunday. But when I was old enough to get out on my own, I hit the streets. There's no rhyme or reason to it. People talk about, being raised right or not being raised right. My parents did an amazing job. But for some reason, the call of the wild was on me. And so I answered it. I became a pretty bad person. I was, one of my main things, I was a street hustler. I did street racing. I started racing motorcycles on the streets and just hung out with a lot of shady people and did things. We were racing so much in Baltimore that we had to go to other states because people knew who I was, and we would just, act like I couldn't ride a motorcycle all day and then at the night race people and take their money. But of course, at that point, they would be very upset about that. So then I had to surround myself with people who carry guns and people who could protect me in my wrongdoing. So of course, that put me in a lot of bad circles. And that was my life for years as an adult. And so, I mean, it was fast money, fast cars, and women. That was my life. A trickster, a slickster, a womanizer. That was my life for so many years after growing up in such a wholesome home. And the truth be told, for me, I felt like I was being a man. I was an adrenaline junkie, and I was getting all the adrenaline I can get and doing all the things I was bad enough to do. And I really felt like I was a man. And I felt like I was being a man. And I know a lot of you who may be watching feel that way because you're in the same state that I was in some other kind of form, fashion, form, but you are in that state. I won't bore you with my story, but fast forward to me sitting in a jail cell and sitting on the edge of the bed after my cellmate, who was on the top bunk, had went through a horrible night where he was a heroin addict that was obviously couldn't get any heroin because he was in prison and he was sick all night. So sitting on the edge of my bed with defecation and throw up from this cellmate who didn't make it through the night very well because his body was reacting to not having the drugs, and defecation and throw up on the floor. And I'm asking God, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? How, where am I, what am I doing? And I remember God completely speaking to me and telling me that I wasn't being a man. And in that same period of time, I was newlywed, and my wife, she was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And, so everything was falling down around me. Some of the things that I was doing that was tricky was catching up with me. And it was all these things that were just starting to snowball. And when God told me I wasn't being a man, I'll be honest with you all right now, I was perplexed. I thought, I was being this strong man out here. And God started to reveal to me all the things that I was supposed to be doing that I wasn't doing. And my whole mindset of being a man was just topsy-turvy. God can speak to you through people. And I remember an elder told me to read the book of 1st and 2nd Samuel and get a masculine side of how to love God. And I started to read about King David, who his life reminded me a lot about mine. He was a masculine man, but he loved women, sometimes to a fault. He had a lot of turmoil in his life, wasn't scared of anything like I wasn't, would run to a fight, even as a young man, to cut off the head of a giant. And I felt like, that's me. He was the runt of his family. He was the black sheep of the family. I'm like, this is my life. This is who I am. But yet, he was a powerful man. And then I understood that this powerful man who went through all these things also wrote the book of Psalms with all these beautiful, beautiful love notes to this God that I was talking to. And I started to understand that the first part of being a man was love. So as I started to really understand and embrace love, it started to make me dig deeper into what it was to be a man. And I remember reading the article and I saw this acronym, because I was like, we talk about being a real man. And I saw this acronym with real as an acronym for a man. And I remember the acronym was R stood for respect, responsibility. E stood for eclectic. A stood for authentic, and L stood for love. And so, I started to break this down in my life, and I realized that I was missing all 4 of these things. And number 1 was responsibility. I had no responsibility. My wife was handling all the bills. I was just out there ripping and running. So the first thing I started to do with myself as I reflected was start to be more responsible. I understood that we are accountable for everything we do and everything we say. As men, and it's the way God has it set as heads, everyone is affected by our actions, whether they be good or bad or ugly. They actually feel our actions and deal with them. So that being said, as a man, I had to have self-control to control my actions, control my words, control my tongue, and also control the things of my household at the time. And then the next one was the eclectic. This one will hit home with some of you men who may be watching right now, who have it all together, who are taking care of home, who are doing the things that they're supposed to do, and haven't ripped and running in the streets like I did, but your career is your main focus, and you're tied up into your career. And being eclectic means you have to be eclectic with all of your things that you do in life. Break it up, deal with the career, make the money, but make sure you take care of your family, your home, your loved ones. Spend time with friends, spend time keeping yourself healthy. So be eclectic by doing all these different things that God has put in your heart to do, and keep a balance, an even balance in your life. Going through the authentic is one that's real cool, because we hear all the time, keeping it real, being authentic. We got to keep it real. Men say this all the time, keep it real, keep it real. We definitely need to keep it real by being true to ourselves. we need to make sure that we actually tap into what God has put into us to be men. I think sometimes we shun from it, which is also a battle right now. I feel like in America, masculinity is being attacked because of the fact that, for two reasons, I feel like two main reasons. One is because men haven't been taking their rightful place as a whole. I'm sure some men watch and say, I have been, and I commend you. But as a whole, we see that a lot of times, even in the African American community, we haven't been taking our rightful place. So we need to take our rightful place to be able to combat some of these other things that are coming into fruition that are starting to attack our very manhood itself. And I won't get political, but it's something that we definitely, as men, if we are authentic and we really go with what we are supposed to do as men, some of this attack will have no place and have no space and have no power. We also have to just, to commit to really being ourselves and tapping into the good. I think there's not a man on this earth that doesn't understand good from bad. So just tap into the things that God put it in you if it's a good thing to do. If you feel like this thing that's making me be a man is something that you say God wouldn't be happy, what would mama say about this? Then it's probably not the right thing to do as a man. But God has put so many things in us as men where we say, you know what, this is definitely the right thing to do. Then those are the things that we need to tap into to be authentic. That's our true self. The last one is L, is love. Now, this one is hard pill to swallow for a lot of men, but the way God gave it to me, he flipped that as well. Man, love is the most powerful force on the face of this earth. There is nothing more powerful than love. We have been painted for love to be soft and skipping through the valleys, selling the tulips and all that kind of stuff. And that's cool. And sisters, y'all might be able to relate to that side, but a lot of men aren't. And I believe a lot of men are turned off by church for that reason, for that very reason, because a lot of times, especially in the African-American churches, households, Big Mama's the one that took it to church. And we start to understand God through her eyes and through her vision, and not understand the masculine side of God and his love from a masculine side of it. And that being said, I feel like the courage is the main part of love, because love will give you courage. For an example, I'm seeing situations where a mouse will run in the house or a spider will come and the man up on the sofa with the woman. Something ain't right with that. Love is the thing that gives you courage in the middle of the night at 2 a.m. when you hear somebody opening the window in your house, and you have the courage as a man to get up and make sure you protect your family, because you love your family so much. You'll put yourself in danger. You'll stop whatever that force is coming into your home because you love your family so much. So love gives us courage. And I think that sometimes we get confused with the devil and some of these bad things. We think it's courage. When I was racing on the streets and I didn't care if I lived or died, I thought that was courage. That was foolishness. Love will give you the true courage to be a protector, as we are wired to do. So, that if anybody gets anything from me right now, that real responsibility, eclectic, authentic, loving, that's something that you can base your manhood on and really build off of that and put it into your own words. Another thing that really helped me becoming a man, and like I said, ladies, I don't know if this is what you expected from me, but it's about my journey as to becoming a man, was, the book of Proverbs. And some of you who are watching may be well-versed and well-churched, but if there's someone listening or watching right now who is not, this is perfect for you. I remember when I first got saved and I was like, I'm gonna be a man and I'm gonna do the right thing. And I remember a young lady came to me and she meant well, but she said, young man, read the book of Acts now that you're saved. And I read the book of Acts and I'm like, what is this? I have no idea what I'm reading. This makes no sense to me. It almost turned me off. I was ready to, like, if it's this difficult, I'm gonna hit the streets again. And I remember a young man came to me one time and he told me, he said, look, you need to read the book of Proverbs. He said, for every day of the week, he said 31 Proverbs, and for every day of the week, every day of the month, you have a proverb you can read. Excuse me. And he said to me, he said, doesn't matter what day of the week it is, whatever day of the week it is, today is the 4th. So he said on the 4th, you open up Proverbs 4, you read Proverbs 4. Don't read 3, don't read 5, just read 4. Don't overwhelm yourself. He said, if you miss the 6th day and the 7th day and the 8th day, don't go back. When you decide to open the Bible up, if it's the 13th, then read Proverbs 13. He said, do this for an entire year. Don't bother yourself with everything else that's going on in the Bible. This is for baby Christians. He said, don't bother yourself with anything else that's going on in the Bible. Just read Proverbs. And what it did was, here is a man who is deemed to be one of the smartest men who ever lived, that has given me wisdom as a man as to how to live my life, based on wisdom that was given to him from different people in his life. And this wisdom is what started to shape me into being a man that I needed to be, to understand. Even for me, Proverbs ends with Proverbs 31. It explains to me, now that I become a man, reading all the other Proverbs, what type of woman to look for, which completed me as a man. So it was just amazing. That's an amazing thing to do for all you young men who maybe not read the Bible or maybe not go to church. This is a great thing, and it's a great read, period. You don't even have to be a Christian to read this and understand this. And I believe that it would help you to transition. I don't know how much time I have, but I want to say this. The thing that keeps me going now, what keeps me going now as a man, I mean, I feel personally that I'm very successful, living in an amazing home, have a lot of amazing things going on in that. And I'll tell you this, to anyone who combats me on what I'm going to say right now, it could be controversial, but my God is a God that owns 1,000 cattle on 1,000 hills. And as a man, as we grow, whether we're in the world, whether we're carnal, whether we're Christians or whatever, as men, we want to accomplish some things. It makes us feel good, and God wants us to have these accomplishments as well. So what the point I want to make is that we need to be able to tap into God's source, because He is the source of all, and be able to have these sources, which is attractive to other men, that men will say, you know what, I see his success. What is it that you have? How did you get that? Because the way I got it was hustling on the streets, and it was nothing but death and destruction behind that. How do you get that with peace? And I can start you with the God that I know and the source of all, and do these things. So I feel like that's part of manly success as well. And I have affirmations. So every morning I do affirmations. I remember when I was transitioning and when I was working on doing the right thing, and I was working on being a good husband, and I was working on taking care of the home, I still was on that journey. And I remember one time I couldn't afford my mortgage, and I had a friend who was a millionaire, and I had to humble myself and go to him and ask him to loan me money to pay my mortgage. And I remember that I've been doing these affirmations, and one of the affirmations I did on my way driving to his house was I affirmed that I am the lender and not the borrower. Now, how foolish was that? I was on my way to go borrow some money from someone to pay my mortgage, and I'm saying out loud into the atmosphere, I am the lender and not the borrower. And I said it over and over and over and over again. Even as he was writing that check, I'm saying it to myself, I'm the lender, not the borrower. And what that did was it brought my mindset in the natural to become a lender, not the borrower, but also it brought the spiritual realm to line up and set up with the words that I was putting out there. And at this point in my life, I am a lender and not a borrower, the way that I live my life and the way that God has blessed me financially. So affirmations are the one thing that men need to do every morning. Everyone needs to do every morning. If you haven't done it, do it. And affirmations are easy when you're doing saying the things that you're doing, but say the things you're not. I'll be candid right now on this screen right now. I have a time with being on time. I was on time for this though.
You were.
But one of my affirmations every morning is I'm always on time. I'm always on time. I say I'm always on time. I get up in the morning and I have a ritual. I mean, my affirmations are I'm the lender and not the borrower. I'm above and not beneath. I love the word of God. Sometimes we can read the word and maybe nod out. I love the word of God. So, I make sure that I say these things in the things, I'm a man of integrity. I love my wife. I can have an amazing argument. But guess what? My affirmation, I love my wife. She loves me dearly. And all these things we do will help create the atmosphere for us to make it to become men. So that being said, I mean, just continue. I feel like that we should just continue to support each other. Any man who's looking right now and they think that what they've heard from me is basically what they're already doing, share that with some young men. One thing I can tell you from my own experience is that sometimes we don't get it from our parents, because my dad, an amazing man. Somehow I didn't get it from him, but I got it from a third party. So all of you men out here who may think that another young man may not need it because their dads are doing okay, share some of your experience with that. Sometimes we need it. They say the boys need to fall down before they understand that this was a bad situation. So share it with some of these other young men. I'm appreciative to be on this show, and I hope this will be able to help some other young men. And just keep the faith and keep the affirmations, and don't forget Proverbs.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I knew I had the right man for the job. I knew I had the right man for the job. I tell you what, it is amazing. We need so many other men like yourself. And especially, I had just written down just for you to tap into being a role model. But you said something about the other men to actually, communicate or take another young man under your wing because they may not get it from their parents, or there may not be a man in their life. So
Correct.
we need men to pour into young people and young men, those that are being raised by a single parent, whether it be a grandparent or a female. There are some things a female just cannot teach a young man how to be a man. So yeah, I appreciate what you shared. And audience, I'm always saying, please share this video. These messages of hope, encouragement, and inspiration, we're not doing this just because we don't have anything to do. Believe me, it's such a God assignment, and we're grateful to God that He's allowed us to do Project 365, and we only bring to you those individuals that we believe have a message of hope, encouragement, and inspiration. Again, thank you, Lewis. I so appreciate it. Takira, you got it, sweetheart.
I really, 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 really enjoyed your testimony of your journey and just who you are as a person and as a man. And I feel that this is so necessary and it's needed for this time right now, not only for young men, but I personally know a couple of grown men who need to just listen to this and get it together, because there is no rule book that's given to young boys on how to be a man, so it doesn't matter what age you are. It's never too late to just start being a real man and walking into your purpose of who you're supposed to be and not who you think you're supposed to be. And this is a wonderful example. And I just encourage everyone that's listening, share this video. It's really a blessing. And also I really liked your acronyms there: the real, the responsibility, eclectic, authentic, and love. Guys, listen to this again. This is not only a great testimony to hear, but it was some really, really good key points here that you can just write down and take and make your own and apply it to your life. And I really liked the Proverbs. I encourage everyone to do that, whether you've been a believer for 1,000 years, or you're just new in Christ, or you're not a believer and even if you don't believe in God, you know what? Get that book and read it seriously. And it will really bless you. It really will. Also, I just wanted to mention about your organization again. Can we see your shirt? So this is their logo. Okay, their website is powerfestbaltimore.org. Check it out to see their vision, their missions, what they're up to, how they're helping people in the community. And just to give you like a little tidbit here, so their organization, what they do is they want to create love, peace, and unity, okay, for all citizens of Baltimore, no matter what your race, gender, anything, class, okay. And what they do is they create that by the power of collaboration, okay. Yes. Having organizations come together, working together to be the resource for anything that you may need. And I really like your logo here, your plug, because you say, get plugged in, but I don't know if like the urban, like cool term, like being the plug. Yep. So you are the plug. Okay.
Yep,
And for those of you
I
who don't
know.
know what that is, being the plug is, being that person that has everything that you need. Like if you need something, you go to it. And it is an urban like street term, like, oh, I'm the plug, but go to them. Okay. They have whatever you need. They can help with resources to help better your life and create that peace, love, and unity in your community. So I just really thank you so much for coming on the broadcast today. I seriously enjoyed it. I want to be sharing this video to everyone I know, especially those that can benefit from it. And I would love for you to come again and share more. You have a lot to offer. So thank you so much.
I would love to. Thank you. Thanks
Definitely.
for having me. This is wonderful.
Great, great, great. I'll tell you, again, as Takira has said, I appreciate you coming and sharing, and it won't be the last time. Takira, can you mention the month of March and how anyone can email me for their favorite?
Yes. Okay, guys. So this is a brand new month. It's only the 4th. And every month, we have our, not a contest, but you email Ms. Portia Wheatley here at info@trophyoflife.org on who your favorite guest is and how they affected you, how they how they affected you, and he said pick him. And we really do read all your submissions and your comments. And then what we do is we pick someone from that, and we give you guys a gift, a little love offering. And it could be anything. You never know. It's really great stuff here. So I encourage you, everyone, and the submissions are due at the end of the month. The last day of March, that's when the submissions are due. That's the last day to turn them in. And then the next day, we announce the winner. So I just encourage everyone to participate. You won't be sorry.
All right. Thanks again, everyone. We're going to leave you for today, but we definitely will be back tomorrow. Please remember to be intentional about fulfilling God's purpose on your life. All right. Thanks, Lewis. Thanks, Takira. See everyone tomorrow.